This is 2OF Entertainment.
Hi guys, and today I've got for you the Renault Symbioz E-Tech Hybrid. Symbioz, what does that mean? Well, it derives from the Greek word symbiosis, which means living together. So what is the Symbioz? Well, it's a new entry from Renault into the compact crossover SUV segment. So it goes up against things like the Nissan Qashqai. It comes in 3 trim levels. And the base model is the Techno trim, and that starts at 29,295. You get the mid-level car, which is the Esprit Alpine. That's 31,295. And then the range topper, which is this, is called the iconic Esprit Alpine, and this is 33,295. This has the oyster grey paintwork on it. That's an option. That's £650. So under the bonnet, you get a 1.6 litre petrol engine combined with a 1.26 kilowatt hour battery and 2 electric motors. That gives you 145 brake horsepower and 250 Newton meters of torque, which is good for 0 to 62 miles per hour acceleration in about 10.6 seconds and a top speed of 106 miles per hour. Economy wise, you're looking at a combined fuel economy of 60 miles per gallon, which isn't bad at all, and emissions is quite good as well. It's 107 grams per kilometer for this car. So as usual, what we'll do is we'll take a look around the car. We'll check out the boot, the rear, the front, and then of course we'll take it for a drive. So first thing I want to show you is the light show that it puts on. So if I press unlock on here, opens the mirrors, and then you can see lights come up on here. But also look at this LED arrangement here. It's got a really sort of sharp angular thing. Look at the texture on the grill here, so to speak. Not really a grill, but you see what I mean. There is an inlet there and there. It's got a nice sharp look about it, real attitude. Here's the badge that tells you the spec. It's got the Alpine badge, the Esprit Alpine. Funny, the Esprit is written in the style of the Lotus Esprit. Nice sort of shark fin sort of design on there. This is quite interesting, the way that this lower segment sort of curves and turns and twists. And it's something that you do need to keep clean because it's got this sort of piano black finish on it. The amazing thing about this car, which I'll talk about when I get in the car a little bit, it's got what they call a Solarbay panoramic glass sunroof, which has transparency that you can activate electronically, which is quite extraordinary. Nice sleek here, glass area, a little bit of a design element here on the C-pillar as well. The rear lights, again, quite interesting. And maybe if I lock it, you can see them light up, and you can see the arrangement of this as well. A boot lid spoiler or a hatch spoiler on the back there, and then of course you've got the Symbioz there. So let's have a look at the boot space now. Right, so let's take a look at the boot space. Decent size. It's 624 litres is what they tell you that it's got here. Of course, it's got a double floor, so under the floor you've got quite a bit of space down there as well. And actually you can move this floor to the lower level if you wish. So you can put it down there, and you get more space if you like. I should do that properly, but there's a bag there, so you know what I mean. You got a light, you got hook, you got the 60-40 split folding rear seats, and again a couple of hooks for netting, I think, on this side. But otherwise reasonably practical, about what you'd expect on this size of car. It is powered on this range topper, so let's close that. Let's get into the back seats and see what they're like. Hey, are you enjoying this video? Then make sure you hit the like button. It's very important. Plus comment, share, and make sure you're subscribing. Right then, so here we are inside the compact SUV, and actually not so compact because it's good enough for me. I fit in here quite fine, and this seat of course is set for me. 6'2", long legs. Now I do have some issues down there, as you can see, because it's a bit tight on the shins. Knee room actually is not too bad. I'm sitting upright. Now the other thing about this is that it does move. This seat moves, but I will not move it any much further because that would be too tight for me. So that's actually on its rearmost setting. That's as far back as it goes, but it's useful to have that facility. Right, so the seat trim, you can see, quite nice. It's got material here and sort of like a leather type material trim combination. There's netting here. There's actually 2 vents, so that's quite handy. There is a power supply there as well, and 2 USB-C points as well. Like, there you go. There's the big roof as well. We'll talk about more about that when we get in the front. Not too bad. Quite a lot of glass area. You don't feel too claustrophobic, especially because of the roof. But generally, and also you've got some lights up here as well. So don't know how I think that would work touch when the car is on, but there's a couple of lights as well. So that's quite handy. Right, let's get in the front and see what that's like. Here we are inside the Renault. Now, as you can see, the screens are already on. Now, I tried to keep them off, but it seems like because I have the key in my pocket, whenever I approach it, it unlocks itself automatically. So this is the thing, it's completely keyless. You don't even have to unlock. When you walk away from the car, it locks itself, mirrors go in. When you walk up to the car, mirrors open, unlocks itself, and everything sort of prepares itself for you as well. So what have we got in here? Well, we've got quite a lot actually. So let's get into it quite quickly. So here's the starter button. Keyless start, of course, and it's a hybrid. So it depends if it needs an engine right now or not. It seems it doesn't, because as you can see, the battery there is fully charged, if you can make that out. And this here, so from this button here, I can actually change the display of the screen there. And as you can see, and you can have that display, and you can have a map as well, which will come up now. And you can also have a car, which comes up now. And as you're driving along, this actually tells you the distance between your car and the car in front. It actually literally tells you the distance in meters. Over here, you can also adjust this bit here. You saw the engine just came on there. So if I press these buttons here, I can actually scroll through that bit and it will tell you the energy source. So the engine is running now and it's charging the battery. And this is quite interesting because these dots change depending on how you're driving. So how I can know that's the radio. So I can go through some more. Water temperature, it does give you that. Consumption for nearly 40 miles per gallon I've been driving around. That's actually pretty good considering. And then the rest of it is there. There's another button here, and this button actually will change the mode. So there you go, comfort. Comfort mode is blue, eco mode, and that changes, and that also actually, if I put this into the home screen, that's quite interesting. I'll come back to that in a minute. And if I press it again, then I can go red. And then Perso, which is, I guess, personal. You've got that there. Now it has Google Voice Assistant. Now I haven't activated my Google, but that's what it does. There is your cruise control. You can activate all your cruise control, adaptive cruise control. And with a Renault, they always hide another control, which is down here. And this is the volume. So if you're wondering where the volume was, that's the volume mode for your stereo. On the back, there's also a knob as well, and that changes the modes. Over here, you've got an e-save button. What's an e-save button? E-save button is for if you're going to, say, a school or a hospital, and you want to make sure that when you get there, you've got about 40% of battery reserve, so you can drive quietly around on EV mode. You press the e-save button. Your window controls, nice bit of trim and some lighting. Look at that, ambient lighting there. Nice bit of trim there. That's material as well. That's reasonably soft, actually, touch there. Nice bit of trim around there and across here. Then you got this sort of trim there as well. That's plastic. That's again soft there. Vents there. Decent sized glove box. Over here you've got an area there. There's actually another hidden space there, so you can put a phone in there. There's a space there. 2 USB-C chargers plus a power supply. I don't think this one's got wireless. There's another one down here. So it's got a 2-tier sort of shelf thing going on here. Then you got another space there. Then you got your e-brakes, cup holders with a normal sort of thing there. And then you've got this armrest, and under the armrest there is again another cubby box. So including all of that, and also the quite deep storage bins on the doors, there's actually a ton of storage in this car. So lots and lots of space here. You can also open the boot from this button here. Now, let's get into that. I'll rush through all of that because I wanted to show you there. Because first of all, where is the volume control? Because you do have controls down here. These are for the HVAC, all the AC controls and all the rest of it. Hazard, locking. The volume control is actually up here. So you can actually turn the screen off if you want with this button. And that would do it. but let's not, that's fine. And then you've got the volume controls up there as well. Now, what I wanted to show you here was this is how you configure. So if you're in personal mode and you configure, then you can go into the engine. So what do you want? Sport, normal, etc. Same with the steering. I like to keep that in sport, keep the steering high because I like a little bit of weight to my steering. And then you've also got vehicle dynamics, which I think is just basically handling and stuff like that. All the controls are here. There you go, all of this sort of stuff. Now, lots and lots of apps, lots of things you can do. DAB radio, heated seats, by the way, and a heated steering wheel as well. And then over here you've got, this is your map, and there's your Google Assistant. So if you sign in, you can get Google Assistant. There's your radio and stuff like that, and you can then operate it from there. There's your stereo, and of course you can change the settings and stuff there. So actually you've got the equalizer there. It gives you studio, concert, podcast, club, immersion. I quite like immersion actually. It gives you that full all-round sort of 360 feel. Climate control down here. Now the thing I wanted to show you again is this bit here. Up here you've got an SOS button for emergency services, and then this is the toggle switch for this incredible panoramic roof that we've got, which is the Solarbay one. So if I press that, you might be able to see at the back, you can see that's changed. Now there's quite a dark, dull day today, so you can't see, but that's now transparent. That's opaque, that's transparent, and if I press it again, then it will cover the front bit as well. So you can have the front transparent, you can have the rear transparent, you can have the whole thing transparent. If I do that, you'll see that now, or you can have the whole thing opaque. So that's quite handy. So lots of incredible touches in here, lots of features, nice big screens. The screen there is fixed, so pretty handy. What's the seating position like? Very comfortable, not an issue. The seats are quite nice actually, and the steering is rake and reach adjustable, so that's quite handy as well. It's good for me. I get a decent seating position in this car, and visibility on the left, the A-pillar is a bit thick, by the way. Check out the Harman Kardon tweeters there on this range topping car. The A-pillar on that side is a little bit thick, so sometimes, you know, judging the distance there is a bit awkward, but otherwise not an issue. Now, in addition to that, I should just tell you, now when you're on the outside, you did see that this thing has got 19-inch wheels, so this is the range topper. That you get also on the mid-spec as well. The basic one gets the 18-inch wheels. They all get the 10.25-inch digital driver display and a 10.4-inch infotainment display with built-in Google. So they all get that smartphone mirroring, wireless phone charger. So there is somewhere a wireless phone charger here. All-round parking sensors, the 360 camera. So actually, I should have showed you that as well. So if you can see that, if you're able to focus in on that camera, then you can see that. And the thing is, what I found is that it's actually really accurate. There isn't too much warping, and it gives you a pretty good precise location of where the car is. The only thing I will say is that once or twice I found it to lag a little bit, which is quite problematic if you're trying to do a quick maneuver. And then, so you get all of that. Adaptive cruise control, you get a standard. The mid-spec, like I said, you get the 19-inch wheels, the heated leather steering wheel, heated front seats, the power boot, blind spot warning, adaptive cruise control, and lane centering assist. In the range topper, which is this one, then you get the panoramic, this clever digital roof. You get the Harman Kardon sound system, 360-degree camera, not just a reversing camera. That's what you saw there, and you get hands-free parking as well. So very well equipped for the money. What's it like to drive? Well, let's find out. Hi guys, I've been writing. This is my first book, a novel, an all-out action thriller, and this one is a collection of 13 stories I've written over the course of 2 decades. The Ulysses Files and The Quantum Races by BC Guy are out now on Amazon.com. Okay, so let's give this a go. Now, I'm going to use this button here to put it into comfort first. Let's just start off in comfort. And yeah, here we go. Now I've got all the assist things off in the car, so it's just me in the car, but we are starting off in comfort, although I suspect that we're going to change quite quickly into sports, because honestly there isn't actually a lot of difference between the modes. They talk about the steering weighting, they talk about the engine performance, but I don't think that there's actually a huge amount of difference in it. The roads are wet and slippery, so the traction systems obviously are staying on, and as you can hear, it's quite easy to overwhelm them. And even the braking the ABS comes in fairly quickly on this car. It quite took me by surprise actually. Let's actually go into sports because that's the sort of place we are in. I've cycled through it. Again. That's a bit easy to do, isn't it? Here we go, it's gone red now. Let's do this. So yeah, so we've gone a nice stretch of a few twists here. So we'll put it in sports for this bit. And yeah, I mean, yes, the steering weighting is a little bit more. So there is a little bit more heft. I say heft, but not really. Just a little bit more resistance, if you like, to the steering. Again, I'm braking early because that just took me by alarm, that ABS thing. Oh, a little bit of a wriggle there as you put the torque down. Good spread of torque actually. Comes in early and comes in quite strong. So the torque is actually quite good. Like even a kick down, and here we go. Yeah, see, it's squirmy. It gets it to squirm and move around a little bit. Handling, okay, you know, I mean, it's turning in all right. There isn't any drama here. You know, again, over the bump there on the corner, not an issue. The car, as you can see, is moving around a little bit, but it's not too much, not disturbing in any way. But overall, performance, I think, is actually very, very good on it. It keeps it very strong. You know, considering what it is, considering what the car is, it's not a performance car, but again, in sports mode, it seems to do very well with that. And we'll try an acceleration out of this junction here. You normally have to accelerate hard out of here anyway because of the nature. It's got a blind approach into here. So once you find the gap, and it's a black bar road, so once you find the gap, you punch it. So let's see how this car will respond. Still in sports mode. Gap is coming up now. Here we go. Oh, hesitation. Oh no, that's the traction just killed it. See, because the wheels lost, the tires I should say, lost grip, and the traction control just sort of killed the power. So that actually took a lot longer. Fortunately, there's quite a big gap, but that took a lot longer to come out of that junction than it actually should have. So even though I'm in sports mode, it didn't like that, and so maybe just flooring it is not really the way to do it, and maybe actually you need to be a little bit more progressive. Is probably the best way to get the best out of it. So again, let's turn left onto this road here, and we'll maybe try that again, but this time we'll do it a bit more progressively. Yeah. So again, yeah, again a little bit of a hold you back, but otherwise it was much more linear. Power came on much more quicker and much more smoother, and there was no hesitation there at all. So that's good. So same road again, and again the road is kind of slippery, so even though I tried it, the same corner, I tried it again, there was much less hesitation, much quicker pickup, but still there was a little bit, because I think it just felt that the road was a bit slippy and the traction cut in to cut the power. So even, you know, with prudent use of throttle, I still had a little bit of a hesitation coming out of that junction. Now, visibility all around is pretty good. Now the thing I've noticed about this car is that you have in mind that it's actually not that big a car because, you know, the platform sharing and what have you, but actually from behind the wheel it does feel like a big car. So you do sort of treat it a little bit gingerly when you're on these little narrow roads. You sort of look after its positioning and stuff like that, and positioning on that side, you use the mirror just to check where it is. So it's astonishing because it feels a bigger, more spacious car in a sense than you might give it credit for, which I guess is a good thing, because if you want a family car which you want to pull everybody into and put all their stuff into, then it's nice to have a bit of room, right? So the engine is kicked in there and it's constantly telling you, I mean, you can actually have a display there that tells you. There's also, you know, that little display that tells you like how economically or not you are driving. Let's see what the ride is like. So we're going to turn turn right onto this road here, and I know that on this road further down it gets extremely bumpy, and so it's a pretty good test of suspension. The one thing I have found is around town there is quite a bit bump thump, because, you know, the wheels, like I said, very big on this car, and I think unnecessarily so. I'm just going to slow down because there's a puddle of water right there, and everybody's getting soaked, and I do not necessarily want to make this car any more dirtier than it already is. Right, so again on this road, and it's not doing too badly actually. I think this sort of undulating kind of bumps, it actually copes better with. It actually manages to sort of flatten them out a little bit more. You can see that there is some movement, but it's the harsher bumps that, you know, it's not so much that it's uncomfortable on the harsher bumps, it's just that you can actually hear them and in a sense feel them. Whereas over here, it's kind of floating along quite nicely on this bit here. This is really rough, but yeah, you see, you can just, yeah, just a little bit of movement there, but yeah, I mean, yeah, you can feel it a little bit, but generally, actually, it floats over them a little bit better than some other cars. So again, that whole thing about it's a comfy car, it's for the family, it seems to do that well. And don't forget, it's still in sports mode. So I did that in sports mode. I'm put it back into comfort. No, that's not comfort, that's comfort. The blue one is the comfort one. The purple one is the personalized one. The hybrid system works really well in this car. I mean, you know, there's no, I mean, you can hear the engine sometimes, and obviously if you use the display, then the display is actually, I should put it on the display. I don't know why I've got it on the, it's showing me the fuel economy, which is 40 miles per gallon still, despite how I'm driving. So that's not too bad. But you don't feel really, you can hear sometimes the transition to when the engine kicks in, but otherwise you don't necessarily feel the transition between EV mode and ICE mode, if you like. So it's fairly unobtrusive. It works pretty efficiently. It's keeping the battery well charged over half most of the time when I look down at the instrument display, and most of the time, you know, it seems to move off in EV mode, which I guess is what is giving. So yeah, I mean, I can see now that it's in the EV mode, so I guess that's what gives it the torque. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can feel the torque kind of. So it does that electric EV thing where the torque is right there. So that's quite good. So we're on a single carriageway now, and it's cruising along quite nicely. There is again like that little bit of bump thump that you're getting that's just coming in through those through the wheels. But other than that, it's pretty straightforward. It's in comfort mode. No wind noise, so that's pretty serene in here. You know, the stereo is quite nice. I've had the stereo on. It's actually very crisp, actually very good quality stereo on this car. Seats are comfy, the driving position is comfy, all-round visibility, like I said, not too bad, aside from, you know, once you get used to like, oh, this car is a bit bigger than I thought it was, sort of thing. So there you go then. I think the main thing about this car is, and it fits in with the remit of the car perfectly, of course, because this is a family car, going to be used around town for commuting and shopping and picking up the kids. The fact is, it's straightforward. It's very easy to drive. All the controls are very light. There's nothing here that's surprising. Even the gear lever and the way that it moves and transitions between the gears is very smooth, reasonably quick. That all works very well. Steering is light. There's things like park assist if you want and stuff like that. So everything is there. It's designed for its market, you know, which is of course family users. It's practical, it's usable. So there you go. Not bad at all. Let me know what you think of the car in the comments, and make sure you like, share, subscribe, all the rest of it, and I'll catch you all in the next video.